unless you guys do it. So if you guys just stuck to was it vacated for more than a year, it probably actually doesn't end the issue one way or another, which I just wanted you to be aware of that. And ultimately, I understand that puts you guys in a difficult position, but that's what I would need to be able to tell my client that yes or no, that is the finding of fact that's necessary to determine the issue. I know it's not probably something you're particularly used to hearing in regard to.
Okay. So if you're challenging the code itself and the legality of it, you are or you're not challenging? Because I'm getting mixed messages here.
I'm not challenging the legality of it in regard to they can say that that's a violation of the code, but it doesn't actually change whether it's a vested property, right? Because that would be evidence of maybe an intent to abandon, but that's not the actual legal inquiry. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it seems like that would be an argument that needs to be made across the street,
Yes,
though.
yeah, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that's the next step.
Correct.
You know what I mean? There's
that finding of fact. This would be the section. This would be the area where facts are decision side. The rest of the law would go up. So
exactly, yeah.
if you were to make those special findings one way or another, that would be the situation.
Okay.
Then at least an adjudicator of fact has made that decision. And you might decide that you don't have that ability. I understand that.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, folks.
And just one other thing.
Oh, go ahead.
We've been paying taxes on this house as a residential. If you look at the public records online, it comes up as residential. It doesn't come up as industrial. So they've been taxing us on what the house is worth $100,000. So I'm just.
So that's why it was really hard for me too, because I went and I paid at the courthouse there when you go and you change it in names and stuff.
Yeah.
Everything's listed as residential. She even told me about residential one use and explained that to me. So then my mom obviously was getting these notices apparently, but didn't understand. So when she gave it to me, that's when I found out I'm trying to make it right. I want to make it right. There's no, like I said, it's residential area. The other lots next to the house are
Even
big.
Nope,
They're
this
just
is,
land.
just to clarify, this is not a residential area.
Even
This
with
isn't
your
an
zoning maps
industrial
online,
area.
I have
okay?
it right here on my phone. Your zoning maps show it's residential.
Do you understand why you're charged for residential through Franklin County, which has nothing to do with the city, right? That's Franklin County's
Sure,
taxes, okay? If they charge you for industrial, your taxes would be quadruple what it is now. It's kind of a courtesy that the county does.
So you're doing us a favor, is what you're saying.
This is an industrial area, right? And this is going to be an industrial area. Whether we resolve this tonight or in 50 years, this is going to be an industrial area.
And
So
that's
the
what I'm
board,
saying.
so
I
the
feel
board
like you've
just needs
already
to
made your
decide.
decision.
I'm sorry, what's that?
I feel like you've already made your decision saying
Well, the
that.
city
It's
has,
not
yes,
ma'am, it's not up to them.
Yeah.
It's up to us, okay? And in case you didn't know, we're volunteers here, okay? And I'll tell you, the city, we've been doing this a very long time, and the city doesn't always win every case. We just try to make really good informed decisions based on the code and the facts presented. And sometimes we get information from both sides that it's really hard to figure out what's what. And so I just wanted you to know that it's, nobody's got it in for you at all, okay?
Appreciate
It
it.
just,
Appreciate
well,
it.
it's just, you just have to know that we're just trying to do the best we can because we love Pasco. That's why we're here and we do this. I get up at 4:30 in the morning every day and I'm here at 10 o'clock still, right? And so we just try to make good decisions based on the information we have, because in other cities and towns, it's normally heard by like a district court judge you'd be going to about these cases, correct? So that's where we're at.
Yeah.
And so we just try to make the best decisions we can. And what you have here is a gentleman that owns a lot of properties. And so he has a lot of expertise in that area and understands what rentals are and properties and all those sort of things that I don't have. And so does Dwayne. And Mary and I, we've just been at it a long time and we've seen a lot of things. So I want to let you know that the city does work. They will bend over backwards to work with you and help you if at all possible. Okay? Nobody's out to get you whatsoever. I just want you to know that.
Yeah,
Seriously.
that. Yeah, like
It's the truth. We've been doing this a long time, haven't we? And
we
man alive.
lived in Pasco most of our lives.
And I understand what you want to do with it. We just have to decide if the city has proven their case. And then have you shown that through your affidavits and other things that it's possible that at least a few days a year that somebody had been staying at that property, whether the water or power was on or not, okay? And we'll talk about that, okay?
Would the signatures of the homeowners in the area help? Or, because like I said, I thought, you need to hear it from the lawyer and get a declaration. But I also have like a form of just everybody who just signed.
Sure, yeah.
Showing that my house has not been abandoned too, because it is all, I understand that you're saying that it's moved. All of those houses around are residential. People live there.
Right.
Okay.
Until nobody's living there anymore, then they'll.
So, I have a question for the city. Again, I want to make sure that all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. For the abandonment, does it have to be a primary residence? That was something that was brought up. Was a primary residence or any evidence that it was a primary residence to maintain the non-conforming?
As far as whether it's abandoned,
Yeah.
it has to be abandoned, that it's not being occupied, it's not being lived in for that use, that use isn't, maybe Troy can.
But it doesn't
say it
matter
better
if it's
than-
your primary residence or rental or
All right.
it doesn't matter.
Okay. All right, there being no further evidence to be presented, I determine the record complete. The hearing is now closed and no additional evidence will be permitted. The board will now discuss the charges, facts, and evidence presented, then we will render our decision. First off, do we agree or disagree by preponderance of the evidence the city has proven that a violation of the Pasco Municipal Code has occurred? And may I have a motion?
We have a discussion before motion.
Yes. Yes.
Once again, we're faced with what appears to be case law as well as statute. Case law indicating there has to be an intent to abandon, and Counselor has pointed out a case already adjudicated. And therefore, not being an attorney, I have trouble making decisions on case law without advice of legal counsel. And therefore, I'm wondering if, with the information and all of the stuff that the attorney has provided, if it would be appropriate to have it reviewed by the city attorney to see if it meets the intent of state law to show abandonment.
Yeah, what I see is I can understand the city. I can see both sides of this. I understand the city's position because they go past it. It looks like nobody's there. The weeds are growing. It could be abandoned. Could there be somebody that stops in and stays there once in a while and them not knowing about it? I would say that's a possibility. It could happen. I also think that I forgot what I was going to say. It was really important, but it'll come back to me.
I like that suggestion.
I do too,
Yep.
but there's so much in here,
Oh, I know.
I think we definitely need to
Yeah.
send it up to
Yeah.
the city lawyer.
Yeah. I know what it is. I remembered because it is important for us to hear this. Is that they do have affidavits and people that are sworn saying that there had been people living there during that time. I'm just getting tired. And so here on one hand we have the city that says nobody's been there, and we know that clearly you don't check it all the time. We know also on the other side, we know that no water or electric's been used, but do we know of people that probably could go there and stay there and have stayed there? And this one gentleman they did talk about could be at the house and blow in there for a weekend or a week or whatever and stay there without using water or electricity. I think is it a possibility? That's my point. Is it a possibility? So to the city saying that it's because mainly based on the water and electricity non-usage that's what they're basing the claim on primarily. Could there have been people that showed up during that time that actually stayed there? Because it said it doesn't have to be the primary resident. It could be somebody staying for a day. And I don't even see a clarification if somebody knocked the door in and stayed there for the weekend and somebody just neighbors. The neighbors, we have notes from the neighbors and affidavits saying, yeah, people have stayed there off and on during that time. So then we have to decide, okay, well, has anybody been there or not? And I just think we don't have a way to make a clear determination that that somebody has not lived there.
And that's
And I think that we should direct the city lawyer as well to see if it's a requirement to be legally occupied as well. That's like you mentioned, somebody kicking in the door and living there for the weekend.
Yeah.
Do you get grandfathered in now because one person decided to squat for a day?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
And
So I
maybe
think
it's something
that
in the code that needs to be changed if there is a hole in
And
there.
updated as well.
Yep.
So I think because,
Okay.
it's not a residential right now, the city needs to look into that more.
So we want to table it to the next meeting so the city
Send it to the
attorney
city.
can look at it?
Have them decide, and doesn't have to come back to us, they can decide. After they look at it, all the legal ramifications of it.
Well, I want to hear what the attorney says, though. I want to hear what the city attorney says. If they want to, it would be great to have them here at the next meeting, so they could explain it to us, and then we could kind of work with the story that we have from these folks. That's what I would like. I don't want them to make the decision necessarily, because this is a huge deal for these folks.
It's a huge deal, yes, because
It's a huge deal for these folks, and I don't mind tabling it for 30 days and getting the attorney to review it and then come in and explain their side of it and see if it makes sense.
but I'd rather have them make the decision, because if it's industrial and we're saying that it's residential, I'd rather have the lawyer tell me that.
Yeah, well, that's what he can do, because we need to have those questions answered. What does it mean? Is it maybe the code doesn't even specify that, and maybe that's where the loophole is. That there's not, and so my thought is that honestly, if there's the way that legally they can stay in the house, I want them to stay in the house. And so that's why I would be interested in hearing the city attorney show up, and then we can make an informed decision. We've done that before.
Oh, yeah.
Would somebody like to make Tom?
Oh man, that's hard. Oh, hey, it was your
Let's just
idea. You
table-
got to put
let's
the
just
motion
table-
for
Let's
it.
table it for 30 days, get the city attorney here.
Mr.
Let's-
Chairman, I know it's not in the script, but I would like to make a motion that this case be continued for 30 days and that the evidence presented be reviewed by the city attorney to determine if it meets the intent of and case law, based on case law, that it follows under the definition of abandonment.
Yeah, okay. Is there a second?
I second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion carries. We're gonna table it for 30 days so we can get the city attorney here, folks, okay? We need some more clarification. Thank you. Can we hear our next case, please?
Yes, sir. Case number 4. So, Mr. Chair, we asked for the case that was on the agenda, did not appear to be moved to the resolution. That's going to be CEB 2020-2200. And that is it.
We don't have any more cases?
No, sir?
Okay. All right. Let me see here then. Okay. All right. So we've had the amendments and dismissals to the resolution. Who would like to make a motion on the resolution, please?
I move that the board approve resolution number 6-2021 as amended, finding that code violations have been corrected and may be dismissed, deferring action on certain cases until proper notification is made, accepting volunteer correction agreements, and assessing penalties and imposing timeframes on certain cases.
Is there a second?
I second.
It's been moved and seconded. We accept the resolution as amended. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Do we have a report from staff tonight?
No, sir.
Any other business?
No, sir.
There being no further business before the Pasco Code Enforcement Board, this meeting is declared adjourned at 10:13.
Think about it. Almost every trip in Washington begins or ends on a city street. And as Washington's population and economy grows, so does the demand on the transportation network. City streets are more than just a road. Above ground, there are bike lanes, sidewalks, curbs, gutters, lighting, landscaping. But below are sewers, water, stormwater, electric, and cable utilities. And when a street is built over a waterway, it even incorporates fish passage into the design. Our transportation system is one of the most valuable assets we have. It's no small cost to ensure that it's well built and maintained for today and the future. But our city streets lack a sufficient revenue source. City transportation systems must compete with important priorities like police and fire protection, parks, and other programs and services. What about the gas taxes we pay at the pump? Well, most of that goes to the state to pay for highways. Cities receive only a small portion, and as the population has grown, your city's share hasn't kept up. It takes a while for a pothole to develop on a city street. However, it just doesn't make sense to defer maintenance. And while maintaining our streets may cost a lot, paying for reconstruction down the road costs a whole lot more. All this means that as cities grapple to fund priorities, we need to ensure our transportation systems are not neglected. We can't throw future generations under the bus. We all need to work together to make sure these important assets are well designed, constructed, and maintained.
Good evening and welcome to the City of Pasco Council meeting. The council thanks you for being a part of our city government. At meetings, the City Council takes formal actions on items, holds public hearings, and conducts other business of the city. Washington State, per federal guidelines, has lifted the requirements for face coverings for vaccinated individuals in most situations. Therefore, council members, staff, and the public who are vaccinated may attend this meeting without a face covering. Those individuals who have not been vaccinated will need to continue to wear a facial mask in the meeting until the order has been lifted by the state of Washington. Agenda packets are available on the City of Pasco's website at www.pasco-wad.gov/agenda. The City Council meetings may also be accessed online through GoToWebinar. This meeting is also being televised live on Pasco TV, streamed on the city's Facebook page, website, and YouTube channel. This and previous council meeting video is available on the city's website. And lastly, the public may submit their comments and/or questions by contacting the city manager or city clerk or using the feedback form on the city's website. So, with housekeeping out of the way, can we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Alvarado.
Present.
Maloney.
Here.
Milne.
He is excused tonight.
Roach.
Present.
Serrano.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Barajas.
Present.
And Mayor Martinez.
Present. May we all rise for the flag salute, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Next, we have the consent agenda. All items listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted by a roll call vote as one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If further discussion is desired by council members or the public, the item may be removed from the consent agenda to the regular agenda and considered separately. First on the consent agenda is the approval of meeting minutes, and that's to approve the minutes of the Pasco City Council meeting held on June 7th, 2021, and workshop held on June 14th, 2021. We have bills and communications, and that's to approve claims in the total amount of $6,165,903.31, and to approve bad debt write-off for utility billing, ambulance, cemetery, general accounts, miscellaneous accounts, and municipal court accounts receivable in the total amount of $188,330.74. And of that amount, authorize zero to be turned over for collections. Item C of the consent agenda is to adopt ordinance number 4539, amending the 2021-2022 biennial budget, providing additional appropriations in the city's general construction fund for the construction of Chapel Hill Park and further authorized publication by summary only. Item D is to approve resolution number 4068, approving the second restated interlocal cooperation agreement from the Bi-County Police Information Network between the participating jurisdictions and the City of Pasco for participating in the Bi-County Police Information Network, and further authorize the city manager to execute the agreement. Item E of the consent agenda is to approve resolution number 4069, authorizing execution of the professional services agreement by the city manager with McKay Esposito for the Lewis Street Corridor 2nd to 5th Avenue improvements project on Lewis Street Corridor improvements. Next on the agenda, consent agenda, would be to approve resolution number 4070, approving amendment number 3 to the professional services agreement with KPG for construction support services for the Peanuts Park Farmers Market project. Item G is to approve resolution number 4071, authorizing execution of the $1.5 million loan agreement with the Department of Ecology for the processed water reuse facility improvements. So with that, that is the consent agenda. If nobody has any questions or comments on the consent agenda, I would like to entertain a motion, please.
I move to approve the consent agenda as read.
All right, there's been a motion to approve the consent agenda as read.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Councilwoman Roach. So can we have a roll call for that, please?
Councilmember Serrano.
Yes.
Alvarado.
Yes.
Maloney.
Yes.
Roach.
Yes.
Barajas.
Yes.
And Martinez.
Yes, so it passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Next on the agenda, we have proclamations and acknowledgements, and none listed at the moment. And we'll go to item 6, where we have visitors other than agenda items. This item is provided to allow citizens the opportunity to bring items to the attention of the City Council or to express an opinion on an issue. Its purpose is not to provide a venue for debate or for the posing of questions with the expectations of an immediate response. Some questions require consideration by council over time and after a deliberative process with input from a number of different sources. Some questions are best directed to staff members who have access to specific information. Citizen comments will normally be limited to 3 minutes, each by the mayor. Those with lengthy messages are invited to summarize their comment and or submit written information for the consideration by the council outside of formal meetings. So with that, do we have anybody who would like to make an announcement or have something that's not on the agenda? Mr. Cortinas, how are you doing tonight?
Pretty good. Mayor and City Council Administration, I'm Dave Cortinas, 411 West Clark, here in Pasco with the Latin Business Association President. 2 weeks ago, you were entertained by a local businessman who came here before you and spoke a little bit more than 5 minutes and mentioned my name 9 times and came with false accusations and all untruths. And I'm not going to mention any names tonight on anything that was said. I listened to your talk, Mr. Martinez, that you gave at the Pasco Chamber of Commerce. It was full of tears. I know that David Zabel has a soft spot, and so do I. I think I get it from my father. But I'm not going to shed any tears tonight because I did that 2 weeks ago when I heard my name smeared the way it was. And I'm here to clear that with facts and truths and not lies. I was very disappointed, Mayor, that you allowed him to continue more than 3 minutes. So I hope you allow me to share what I have to say tonight. We, at the Latin Business Association, we've been told that some council members have said we're not a legit organization. We have a federal ID number. We're a federal status number as a nonprofit. We have our federal UBI number. We have a city license with the city of Pasco. And we have offices downtown Pasco, 411 West Clark, Suite F. Are we a legit business? Absolutely. Are we recognized by the city council as a legitimate business? No. Have we had the privilege of the visit of any one of you city council, give us a call and say, hey, we'd like to visit your organization? We had that privilege from a city administrator, Dave Zabel. In November of last year, he asked to come to visit with us. He spent 90 minutes at our board meeting. We have 16 board members. Not even the DPDA can get 16 board members from downtown business owners. We can. Because they have a leader who has a vision and a mission of the best interest of theirs. Last 2 weeks ago, it was said that Mr. Cortinas has an agenda to destroy businesses. Far from the truth. You may hear that tonight. We have done everything we can to carry out Dave Zabel's mission and vision that you city council members have set for him and his administration. We committed to him that we would carry out his mission, that we would do everything possible to build bridges and not close doors on those that are in need downtown Pasco. We hear reports. I watch your council meetings on TV all the time. Many of you have gone, so I've been downtown Pasco. And your reports come back, oh, everything's peachy cream. Everything's nice. I don't know who you're talking to, but it's not these business owners downtown Pasco. That is far from the truth. And they will tell you. We want to thank you for the CARES Act monies that did make it to downtown Pasco. Many of them here did not receive any money. And those CARES Act dollars lasted for about 3 months. We've been in the pandemic 15 months. And these people are still suffering. And we know that the city received $17.4 million to be able to distribute to the community for projects. I listened to Mr. Maloney's list of wish lists that he entertained for all of you. And I know we haven't heard how much money you guys are going to put back into the downtown businesses. There's projects on there I agree. Some projects I don't agree. But I think they're all the best for the best interests of the city of Pasco. We attended the bridge ceremony. We appreciate that we were able to take a picture with Dave Zabel. We appreciate that's the best thing that's happened to the city. is bringing Dave Zabel on the board. And then when I heard he applied for another job someplace else, I placed a call real quick. You're not going anywhere. We need you here. Now he's brought Adam Lincoln and others, and I've had the privilege to email back and forth with Adam. And I've enjoyed his emails and his harmony and the good things that he says. I haven't gotten those type of emails from any of you. I've had lunch with Mayor Martinez. I've had an opportunity to deal with Pete Serrano and Dave Milne. Good, common sense people that want to listen and want to hear and want to support. That is what we're looking from the city of Pasco, to support these downtown people. There's people wearing shirts that say Somos Pasco. These are Somos Pasco right here, not the people that are wearing these shirts. These are the people who need your help. Now, there's been some funds that have been funded to the contract that you have with DPDA. DPDA has a history of losing money 6 years in a row. 6 years in a row, the DPA has been in the red. Even last year, when the Cinco de Mayo was canceled, they still lost $8,000 because the executive director didn't know how to read contracts, and he canceled a band a week before, and they wanted their money, and they had to pay the $8,000. Lost money. Are you taking care of our taxpayers by giving DPDA $100,000 a year? According to Dave Zabel, $250,000 with in-kind dollars, sending police officers to man the streets for their festivals and giving money for the specialty kitchen. Waste of funds that we have been seeing. One executive director stole $150,000 and spent time in jail for it. These are not well-spent dollars. When Gary Crutchwell was here, I was part of the board of the Pasco Downtown Development Association. I was not agreeing with the way they were running things. Gary Crutchwell didn't agree with it, and he canceled the contract and moved on and created this new organization. You were part of that, Mr. Martinez.
Okay, so I think I've been real generous.
I know you have. I'm watching you. I'm watching you. I'm watching you.
To wrap it up now, so we can give others an opportunity as well.
I know that the other gentleman was never interrupted. The gentleman that came and bashed Mr. Serrano was interrupted. Okay, so
we addressed the council.
That's fine.
But I would just ask you to wrap it up, please.
Also, real quick, protocol is really important. And I've had the opportunity as being the national president of the Latino press. We follow protocol and respect. When you, mayor, should have been the deputy mayor, instead they named somebody else with all new city council members. And you were not elected as deputy mayor when you should have. The next mayor here in this, if you follow protocol, Dave Milne is the next man in line to be the mayor.
You have to wrap it up, Mr.
I'm talking protocol. What I'm saying is this: money's lost because we are not spending our monies correctly. So we're asking you tonight that you give the Latin Business Association the opportunity to show that we are a legitimate organization, that we do have our accountant, Dante Montoya, who worked with the Council of Governments, giving out loans throughout the Tri-Cities, and others. And also Luis Gutierrez from Yakima, Washington, who's loaned more than $26 million to small business owners. We are Somos Pasco. We are the organization that you should be working with. And stop giving money to those that lose money for the last 6 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cardenas. All right, anybody else would like to make a statement? Okay, go ahead, sir. Okay, thank you.
My name is Nicolas Zavala, and we have a couple businesses with my wife in downtown and a couple buildings also. And we're trying to renovate one of them, the old Liberty Theater. And I'm glad that there's more Latino organizations like this one. I'm not saying we're the best one and the only one. There's many others. But we need more Latino organizations that can care for the businesses in not only downtown, but also in the whole Pasco. And that'd be great if you can channel some support. We have support from you in some areas already, but there's a lot of work to do. Some of those things might not even be money. It might be just having people to give you some different feedback or ideas about changing some of the ordinances to better serve the businesses and the new kind of businesses and population. So just consider that, and we're here to help, and we're here to support you. And it is true, it's hard to agree with everything, even within our own organizations, but we're here to work and we're here to support you. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yep. Appreciate it. Next, go ahead.
Buenas noches, mi nombre es Verónica Ramírez. Yo soy una negociante de aquí del centro de Pasco.
Good evening, my name is Veronica Ramirez and I'm a business owner here in the city of Pasco.
Yo abrí mi negocio en el 2011.
I opened my business in 2011.
Cuando yo abrí mi negocio aquí en el downtown Pasco no había tanta economía como ahora la hay.
Back when I opened my business in downtown Pasco, the economy wasn't as good as now.
Ahorita nosotros, la mayoría de los negocios de downtown Pasco somos los que estamos jalando mucha gente que viene de los alrededores.
Right now, all of the businesses in downtown Pasco are the businesses that are attracting many people from all around the city.
Y estamos tratando de que toda la gente que viene de afuera venga y deje su dinero aquí al downtown Pasco.
And we're trying to attract all of those people that are coming from outside to bring and leave their money here in downtown Pasco.
Nosotros los negocios trabajamos 8 días a la semana, no tenemos días festivos, no tenemos horario de enfermedades.
Work 8 days a week, we don't have any holidays, we don't have any sick days.
Y trabajamos muy duro para que la gente que viene a nuestros negocios vuelva a regresar otra vez a volvernos a consumir aquí al downtown Pasco.
And we work really hard so people that come and visit come back and bring their money to downtown Pasco.
Ahora que pasó con lo de la pandemia, que nos obligó el gobierno a cerrar por 4 meses, fuimos los negocios más afectados aquí en downtown Pasco porque realmente no recibimos apoyo.
After the pandemic, we were forced to shut down for 4 months, and we were the most affected ones, and we never received any monetary support.
Muchos negocios tal vez sí recibieron ayuda, pero no todos nos apoyaron.
Maybe some businesses got some help, but not all of us did.
Yo principalmente fui y pedí el apoyo a DPDA y me dijeron que no había ayudas, que no había nada de eso.
And I personally went to ask for help at DPDA, and I was told that they didn't have any type of help or any of that.
Y después me di cuenta que DPDA podía pedir dinero para nosotros porque él es el que se encarga, la asociación que se encargaba de aquí del downtown.
And then I found out that DPDA could have asked for funds because they were in charge of the downtown association.
Yo busqué al señor Cortinas porque quería que alguien nos ayudara, alguien nos escuchara a nosotros como hispanos, porque realmente no teníamos quien nos apoyara ni quien nos ayudara.
I looked for Mr. Cortinas to come and help us because nobody wanted to listen to us, to us Hispanics, and there wasn't anybody willing to help us.
Ahora nosotros tenemos la asociación que es la LBA, la Asociación de Negocios Hispanos y Negocios Latinos aquí en Pasco, en Downtown Pasco.
Now we have the LBA Association, Latino Association here in Downtown Pasco.
Y lo único que queremos es que nos apoye la ciudad porque nosotros aportamos muchísimo dinero aquí a la economía de Pasco.
And the only thing we're asking from the city is to give us some support because all of these Latino businesses bring a lot of money to the city of Pasco.
Y queremos que nos vean como lo que somos unos hispanos trabajadores y que día a día trabajamos para sacar adelante la mayoría del negocio y aquí todo el downtown. Y también tenemos muchas necesidades.
We just want you to see us as really hard working people that work night and day, and we have a lot of needs.
Aquí en el downtown.
Here in downtown.
Okay, les pido la ayuda de favor y muchas gracias por escucharme.
I ask you for your help and I appreciate it for listening.
Muchas gracias.
I apologize for, I'm not good at public speaking.
Okay.
My name is Maria Barajas, and I'm the owner of Caballero Western Wear in 515 West Lewis Street, and I'm also the director of membership of the LBA. Many of you, they have come and visit our store, my store, and I'm grateful for the support that, in the interest that you guys have in helping downtown Pasco, because if you guys support us, then it's gonna help us, everybody, all of us. But thank you, but there's still much to do, as we all know, and we still need that support. There's a lot of businesses that didn't get help, and they're the ones suffering more. So, and we're ready to, to roll sleeves and get to work with anybody. And another thing, my husband I'm gonna start crying.
Okay.
And my husband Carlos and I have known Mr. Cortinas for almost 20 years. And one thing that defines him is his big heart. Sorry. Last year, he's ready to help anybody, business, person. He called us. This bakery is having hot trouble in the wintertime. If you need to buy bread, go to the bakery. Just another business. And we did. A hair salon. Go cut your hair at this hair salon because they're struggling. And there, we went to show our support. So he's just ready to help. Last year, there was no exception. He recognized that the downtown businesses were going to be hurting. And he went door to door with the help of other business owners and rally ups all together. Right now, we're almost 85 members. And like I said, we are ready. His efforts of keeping us informed of all the grants, helping us, finding people to help a lot of the businesses that don't know English to, fill up their applications. He's just done it. He goes beyond. I don't know what else to say, but thank you. We have, all the businesses have survived, and it's because of all his efforts. So I'm so grateful for him, for having such a strong leader in the community, on the Hispanic community, because he's just a big leader for us. So thank you for listening to me, and hopefully we can get much of your support, because there's a lot of people that need a lot of help. So thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead. You come on up.
Hi, my name is Delia Hernandez, and I opened Promociones de ACLC back in '98, and I was doing good. We sell snow cones, ice creams, we make our own flavors, and I've been working for a long time, and then I opened Salones de Fiesta Santa Cruz across the street from my other business, and I never asked for help because I work a lot, many hours. Sometimes I just sleep like 3 hours, 5 hours. But we need help, and we need someone like Mr. Cortinas that represents us, because he's the voice of our community. I know the other person that he's supposed to help me, and he just came to my place and screamed to me and causing like problems. We need to make changes. We are here to change our city downtown. We want to make looking nice. We are here. If you walk through the streets, we are only like Mexicans all around. So we're having a hard time with the people from outside living on the streets. I have problems with the code enforcement because they threw the garbage outside and all these kinds, and they're always behind me. I have been having problems to work with the city. When I'm going to open Salones Santa Cruz, they ask me for everything that they never has. So I had to request for a big loan to put fire sprinkles on my place. And I was paying good, but this came and we closed everything. So no parties at all. I had to make payments for my place, and this is really hard. Now when I tried to open, city came and they asked for things that they're not like important but cost a lot of money for me. Door that's a little bit open, doesn't close too much on that app. They want me to change or fix, and asking me for like a door on the alley because the people from the street, they open, and I had to put lock and open when the business is running. So they asked me to change that door and the fence, and I don't have money right now. It's hard to me. And inside my place, I just put a small room now with the nothing on the top, just the walls to put like storage. It's very small, but they want me to make plans and us like to do plans and everything. So I don't think they be fair to me, but I always follow the rules. So if they tell me something to do, I do it. So if we work together, we want to make this works. I work a lot, and I have calling on my church, and I had to be busy every week on our meetings. And I believe we can change. So we are here to work. So let us the chance and let us the help, please. Now is the time that we need help for a little bit. We start opening our business, and we can go back to work. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm a little nervous because it's my first time ever being here at the city of Pasco, but I've been here since I was 7 years old. I know Saul from church back in Othello, and it's nice to see you guys here. I'm the owner of Amora Mexico restaurant right on Clark and 5th Avenue. I'm also the owner of El Patron nightclub that should be opening here soon, I hope, if everything goes out good. During this COVID, has been really, really hard, especially for restaurants and pretty much every business, but the restaurants were really hard due to we were completely closed for 4 months last year. I think the CARES Act that was able to help me a little bit so that I could get through and pay some of the mortgage because I don't own the building yet, and a little bit of some other help that I got, but it just barely covered, bills and stuff because no income coming in at all. Then we opened up for 25%, which was, or to go first, it was to go orders, which was really, really hard. I had to do it myself. I had to be waitress. I had to cook. I had to take orders all by myself, which was really, really hard. No days off, which I still don't have days off as a business owner. So I think you guys all know we don't have days off. Then they said 25% capacity, it was tough. And then they said outdoors only. And I had to spend money to fix it since I've been out of business for, over a year, I think.